Hello, everyone, and hello, world. I'm Ben Coleman, your anchor host here for the Florida Aviation Network here at Plane Time 28, Segment 2, here with John Goglia. John, welcome again to Segment 2. And we've got a lot more to discuss and a lot more for you to do for homework, looking stuff up. It's all about resourcefulness. But John, tell us a little bit about your knowledge of NAA, and we're full of acronyms here in this industry, but NAA and the Collier Cup.
Oh, so NAA stands for the National Aeronautics Association. They've been around for a very long time, and they are the keeper of some very interesting cups as awards in the industry. And the Collier Trophy is one. And there's a number of them, I think 5 that they have. They also recognize people multiple times in a year for contributions to the industry. I was fortunate enough to receive a Distinguished Statesman Award from them, which is interesting for somebody as outspoken as I am, who doesn't hold his tongue when I think it's appropriate. But anyway, they honored me with the Distinguished Speakers Award, and as a result from that, and my interface with them, we're actually moving on in a different path for maintenance people. And I assume that's what you were referring to.
That's where I'm going.
All right, so what has happened over the last year or so is that I petitioned, along with some other people in the industry, to have a mechanics award from NAA. And it took a year. They don't do it. They don't create awards very lightly. I was told that this award will probably be the last one they ever create. But we are going to have a cup. I believe it's going to be a cup for a mechanic every year that will be awarded in a very fancy black tie dinner in Washington, D.C., maybe with some other pieces to that puzzle. But anyway, we will finally have an award that's dedicated to mechanic. Now, they badgered me, and I did not want this. I resisted to the very end. They want to name it after me. I don't want it named after me, but I don't.
Too late, John.
Well, what they told me says, if we don't name it after you, we're not going to do it. So that sort of sealed it.
Yeah.
Now we have to fund it.
Mm-hmm.
So many people in the audience may know that I recently did a 6-part series with HBO, and called the Rehearsal 2. And HBO is the first funder to contribute to the award.
They kicked in.
They kicked
10%, I guess it was.
10%.
Well, that's just a start. That's just the start.
Yep.
John, it's an honor, and again, you're the soft-spoken guy. But let us use and develop and exploit not only your name but what you stand for.
Yep. Couple words here.
I said this wasn't going to happen, but it's okay, because it's passion. It's passion oozing out of our pores. John, a little segue into the Boeing technical forecast. That'll kind of let us get a little bit of breath here. Boeing, they spend an inordinate amount of money doing market researches. And these are real figures, and they project over the next 20 years there is a need for 660,000 pilots, 710,000 mechanics, and over 1 million flight cabin safety attendants. That's a big number. And
just think of the opportunity that provides for people for employment, a job that's meaningful. Right? It's not an insignificant job. It comes with a lot of responsibility, but it makes you feel good when you accomplish it. So, I mean, it really is an outstanding field for employment. Are you going to become rich working in an airline as a flight attendant or as a mechanic? No, you're not. But you're going to be satisfied, having a good feeling inside, knowing that you've done a job to provide transportation of safety for passengers of airplanes every single day. Your skills, your knowledge, the ability of you to accomplish your job means a lot to the millions of people that fly every day, even though most of us are invisible.
And that's well, it's not by design, but it's just the nature of the beast. I mean, this the grease-stained man or woman now with the rag in her hand is responsible for putting them up there, and the mechanic's creed. And I'm not going to quote it, but I would like for the viewers do a Google search or DuckDuckGo or whatever search engine you want to use, but search the mechanic's creed. And I think you'll understand what John and I are talking about here and why we get passionate about this. Awards. John and we, Laura and Rich, myself, Obi Young, a lot of the folks, we're putting together a mechanics award in your recognition. And I really like the idea that Laura has about having a photograph with a wrench and it laser etched inside of a globe. I think that would be a very, very unique and fitting tribute. Something that somebody could put on their mantle, window seal, right around, put it on the dash of their car or their truck, whatever, the motorcycle, whatever. And to know that they have been recognized for going above and beyond. And it's we're going to get legs under that. We've been working on it for a couple years now. But I think we're committed now because you've got so darn big and everybody's recognizing you. So if we don't, we're behind. So
again, I'm not going for recognition, but I'm going to provide some. We haven't talked about this yet, but since you just raised yourself and Laura, we're also going to be doing some interesting things with PAMA. And Laura and her husband Rich have volunteered. You have volunteered, and I know that means you're going to volunteer your wife. And my support staff at PAMA with Crystal and Tara, who runs the administration of PAMA, and Gina, who is going to be working with us firmly with our social media and digital pieces. We're going to make some waves.
And there's some changes coming down the road, but change is not all bad. Change is good. We need to change with the times, and there will be new methods, new ways, and to get this information out. But it's so very important. It's vital to our transportation industry.
Well, unfortunately, what makes it doubly vital today was the pandemic. Mm-hmm. When that pandemic hit, we had so many senior mechanics, not only for the airlines and the general aviation community, just finally say, I give up. The flying hours were gone down the tubes, so there wasn't a lot of work, and they just said, they stepped away. But we lost more than just the manpower. We lost the knowledge. Mm-hmm. Right? Especially in the general aviation community, where most of the maintenance manuals were written on airplanes that were certified many years ago, and their manuals were not the best in the world. Mm-hmm. And so that institutional knowledge, I'll call it, just that experience went out the door virtually overnight. And now we're having the same problems we had 30 years ago because we lost that knowledge. And we need to not let that happen again. So yep. I think that PAMA can play a role in that, along with some other organizations.
Well, the brain drain is real, and spending a little bit of time in Washington, I didn't spend near as much time as you did, but
let's not get into that.
That's another
yes.
4 or 5 segments later on down, but and probably best on the podcast. But and again, we like to bash government, we really do, because it's they're so bashful. They've done some things that they deserve it, but there's some good people. There really are some good, dedicated people that mean well, but they also need guidance. And this is why it's so important when we've got an old bull like you, a seasoned bull like you, to give us that guidance when we start to go wrong, bring us back in a little bit. And in some cases, you're familiar with the sport curling.
I am.
Sometimes we're just the sweepers, and we got to sometimes sweep extra heavy to get that stone going the right direction. And we really are. It's an honor to be in the industry. Sometimes it gets frustrating, and you do know how to become a millionaire in aviation.
Only if you have two when you come in.
Start after you lose the first million, or stop. Just stop. That way you'll be a millionaire. So, but no, it's not all about money. It really isn't. And anybody that complains about not having enough money, they're printing it as we speak. It's those prints are just going crazy at the mint. But it's not all about money. It's about how do you feel at the end of the day, what you've got accomplished, what you want to get accomplished, and planning, management. Take good care of yourself. Our health. John, I didn't realize I was going to live this long. I would have taken better care of myself. I know that's worn out, but it's true.
And you get surprises in this business too. So I recently received a call from a government agency asking my help to put a number on the exposure rate for maintenance people to certain chemicals that we use routinely. Mm-hmm. So I'm just starting down that path with them. The first meeting's coming up next week. Because we work with hazardous chemicals virtually every day. Mm-hmm. And, instructions for continual airworthiness. I've been on a committee that's 10 months now, maybe, looking at ways to improve the instructions for continued airworthiness, maintenance manuals. Mm-hmm. And finally, the industry is recognizing openly, remember what I said, put the item on the table, we'll address it. Well, we finally got the poor quality of maintenance manuals on the table, and now we have the committee looking at trying to supplement the procedures from the FAA to make the manuals better. So I'm also involved with that on behalf of PAMA. So there's a lot of work going on, and for the better, for the positive, and we need to keep it up, and I need to have somebody behind me to pick up on all that stuff.
Yeah, a succession plan is needed, and we would be remiss if we didn't mention Bill O'Brien.
No, Bill, yes.
Bill, and he left us way too early, but the man left a mark, and a good positive mark. Was he the best liked guy in Washington D.C.? Probably not, but he
like me, he was very outspoken.
Yeah.
But not unlike me, being a presidential appointee, my boss was the president, and when I had words with other government officials, I would remind them, call my boss. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Good luck getting through on that call, but call my boss if you don't like what I'm saying. Yeah. But Bill didn't have that luxury, and boy, they made him pay for when he spoke up.
Yeah. We somewhere we have in our archives a lot of presentations from Bill, and he took his time and his effort and his knowledge, and put his money where the mouth is. He really did, and we do recognize that type of dedication, and it's fun. I mean, I enjoy working on something. It gets a little bit frustrating at times when you can't find parts, or finding the parts are a challenge. But again, as we were talking to Ryan, an upcoming A&P, and one of the competitors, hopefully, in the competition coming up in Orlando over the next 2 years, will be here in Orlando, is the resourcefulness. Look it up. Look it up. If you can't find what you're looking for, keep digging and have your go-to people. And hopefully, if you become, and please, be a member of PAMA. Support it. Give us numbers. Join up. It's not that expensive.
If you're a student, it's free.
Yeah. I mean, no charge. I get on to people for using the term free. It's no charge. Ain't nothing free. Because
So-
you can dedicate your time, you got your time invested, and that's the most precious commodity we have.
And we're going to, hopefully, with the help of you and Rich and Linda and Gina and a bunch of other people, we're going to be able to be a clearinghouse for information for new people. One of the things that I want to create in the next 6 months is a piece on PAMA's website that can go off on all the other websites and simply says, do you want to be, why you want to be a mechanic? All right, or something similar to that. And just explain to people how they can become an aircraft technician, what's the process, and what resources are out there to help you. We have a lot of scholarships helping people come in, but we don't plan on ending there. After you're in, we want career development. And I shared this last night with all of the folks that were present about how, I was just going to use a basic word, how unhappy I was when I discovered visiting a major airline that had problems in a shop, and just in talking to the management in that shop, I found out that the manager who managed the whole program and was involved with the problem that brought me there, his background, he received a BA, bachelor's degree, in hotel motel management, and he was now managing the engine shop. You think my blood pressure spiked?
Your unhappiness wouldn't start with the word P, would it? But, no, I understand.
It might have been a little earlier in the alphabet.
Yeah. Okay.
But we have to keep this show clean.
Yes, yeah.
Get them on my podcast, and you might get the
unfiltered version?
Yes.
That's a more reason to go with the podcast and get it unfiltered, live and
But anyway,
go.
Those people, bringing them in to run a shop as technical as an engine shop, I think is misguided. But when you look at the workforce, we haven't invested in developing those skills needed for the mechanic to transition to that. Now, there's some guys and girls that will go out and get their bachelor's degree while working in the airline. I have several friends of mine that did that. But that's not for everyone, especially if you have a family, you have young kids, it gets very difficult. So one of the things that I like to think I'm going to be able to accomplish is to have a ongoing training program that's part of PAMA, where we teach mechanics how to write a good memo, how to work with a budget, how to understand how to cost out a job, and so on and so on. Basic skills that bring them up to the next level, including communications, leadership skills. We don't have leadership skills. I was a brand new mechanic, maybe 6 or 8 months experience. I went to work for an airline in New York City. Well, let me tell you, New York City is quite an interesting place. And I think from day one, I was being balked at by management that their method of management was just yelling and screaming at you. And I liked that so much, I kept it for a while. But that's not the way leadership works today. So we're going to have a piece on PAMA with the help of like Linda Spola is going to be part of it, and Crystal and Gina that I mentioned, to help drive me to get this task accomplished and have an ongoing training program for meaningful leadership. How to lead people, not just to yell at them to do something, how to lead them to do it themselves.
We're going to get there, John. And interpersonal relationship skills, how to deal with difficult people. And you can, make lemonade out of lemons. I mean, there's ways to do this but it takes a lot of effort on your part, and it takes you got to have some tools in the toolbox of, rather than jump back confrontationally and it just escalates and you just start building a wall between yourself. You got to know how to knock that wall down and continue moving along. What is the focus? What's the end goal? What's the end game? What are you trying to accomplish here? And I've been very, very fortunate to have been around a lot of very strong leaders coming up, and how to articulate yourself, how to discuss and not get down in the weeds and just start just diarrhea of the mouth, and it just doesn't work that way.
So one of the things that I've observed firsthand working in the field, and still goes on today, is that many of our leaders don't afford the individual the opportunity to understand all the reasoning behind it. I work for managers that would tell me, just do it, when I questioned whatever we were doing. Just do it. Well, that's not the answer, just do it. It is, let me explain to you why we're doing it, right? And, but the measurement we today in the airline industry, the measurement we use for our management people is the wrong measurement, because it's all about the time on heavy maintenance, when the main wheels cross the door tracks of the hangar, that the airplane's out of the hangar, that's their measurement. Because somebody before the airplane came in said, oh, we'll get that airplane out in 18 hours. It wasn't the guy having to do the work. It was some nameless, faceless person in the process that put that first estimated time of return to service on there, and we work towards it. Sometimes it's unrealistic. On the gate, it's a lot more straightforward. The airplane comes in, it's 5 after 1, it's going out at 2 o'clock. And now we have a logbook with 5 items in it. And we've got to accomplish those before the airplane leaves. We take a delay that the supervisor's measured by that delay and nothing else. And that's wrong, because the job takes more than just being an on-time departure. So there's some structural changes that we need to change over time within the aviation industry and how we measure our maintenance people.
And when you drill down into a problem, and it's multi-layered, and again, the term that we use in acts of investigation is the chain. It's a chain of events, usually, is what causes something to happen. But as far as how to learn the most from that experience and keep it going, one of the most abused phrases in the GA world, general aviation world, for 100-hour inspections, flight schools and so forth, oh, that's all right, we'll catch it the next 100. Send it out for 100 hours, we'll catch it the next 100. But we really need to address this now. Don't have time, it's on the schedule. We got student and instructor over there waiting for the airplane now. We'll catch it the next 100 hours. That's frustrating. And this is when you got to say, you pick your battles, and is this something that could pull the airplane out of the sky? You got to throw the time out. Give them a call over to the dispatch. The airplane's not going to be ready for at least another hour or 2. That's just the way it is. But we'd rather do that and take the hit and all the pity party over at flight ops. Oh man, those guys in maintenance, why don't they get their act together? Well, their act getting together is saving your life. And we gotta move that. We gotta move that at every chance we get in this industry. We're out here not to hold you up or make you uncomfortable. We're out here to save your life. It's embarrassing when you hear about an airplane landing down on the highway, or putting it in the field, flipping over in the back. And there's a lot of blame to go around for that. In some cases, it really is totally. It's new. It's never been seen before.
Those are pretty rare. We repeat the same problems over and over and over again. And that's frustrating as an accident investigator. It's frustrating running the podcast. Preparing for the podcast, sometimes it takes a lot. Just finding the issues that you can put on there that, that we have the ability to articulate the problem to the general public, but then have it presented in a way that the pilot community or the maintenance community can understand the problem and understand how it fits within their own life as a pilot or as a mechanic. And that is not so easy. I used to think it was until I started doing these podcasts, and we're up now to 287 of them, I think, this week. So we have a lot of them out there, and it gets hard to identify those issues that we can present in a way that can be interpreted meaningful in a way. I do it at the end on every podcast and YouTube channel with, if you're going to go flying, you need to do a good pre-flight. and pre-planning first. And I tell them to do it at home or in the hotel room before you go to the airport. Do it again at the airport. If they don't agree, find out why. When you go out to the airplane and do the pre-flight, I mentioned it earlier, if you're concerned about your pre-flight on the airplane, that you might not be the sharpest tool in the shed for doing a pre-flight, get a mechanic to come out there and show you the things that mechanics look at on an airplane when they come up. And I've watched mechanics when they come out to an airplane. And the better mechanics will start observing their airplane when they're 50 feet away from it. They're looking at the airplane, they're looking at the gear, the position of the tires, they're looking at everything from afar, and then they zero in on the airplane closer. You can tell a really sharp mechanic just by the way he approaches whatever job he's going out to do.
Or she.
Or she. And it's always with the broad view that narrows down to where they're going.
And I just had to throw that in there, but you know, in the regulations, when it's the male gender, it's written, but it's implied that it's both male and female.
Well, I'm a big advocate of having more women in maintenance.
Yeah.
So I do everything I can to promote that wherever I can.
We're colorblind. We are. It doesn't matter your ethnicity. It doesn't matter your gender. It's the content of your heart and your abilities, and we can work on those abilities. We can get them up.
I want to talk about that picture that just flashed. Put that picture back up. There we go. Here's my competition. All right. This is. I'm so proud of that. Look at the makeup.
Yeah.
All right.
That's. John, keep the picture up there for a while, Obi. Did I mention that this was live and we're passionate about this industry? We have an opportunity, and we're going to take the opportunity to expand this. And I want everyone within earshot or visual shot of this program, get involved, do some research, and we're getting in the wind down phases of this segment too, John, and we're here to literally help you, and by helping you, we're helping us. It's self-serving. And again, PAMA, go to the Professional Aviation, soon to be Aerospace Maintenance Association.org and get involved. Be a part of this. You're either part of the solution or you're part of the problem. And we've got to remember that we're not in this alone. We have Big Brother is there with us, our FAA, and for the Wings credit. And if you don't know about the Wings credit, I mentioned this before, go to FAAsafety.gov, SPANS, and look for that verification code at the end of this program. And we hope that you use it. We hope that you use all the information. And John, I'm going to thank you right now as we roll off. Okay, and now we're going to go back to one, and we're going to say, see you next interview.